In this video, we're going to show you how to change the diaphragm on your P200 Hydracell pump. As you can see, I've already taken off the head and the valve body. This is what you're going to see behind it. If you don't know how to take off the head or the valve body, please refer back to our video in the series. At this point, clean up the face. You're going to have a little bit of oil that drips out. You're going to find the compromised diaphragm, in this case the one on the end. We're going to take our pick and get behind the diaphragm. You're going to pull the diaphragm out, and behind on the actual gear and rod back here, there's a hole. You're going to use your Hydracell tool and get it in the hole to hold the diaphragm out, just like that. Then you're going to take your 5/16 wrench and get in behind here. You're going to crack the diaphragm loose. Once you get it pretty loose, you can unscrew it by hand. Now you can see a better view of the hole to hold the rod out. Then you're going to grab your replacement diaphragm. Start that on. Get it snug and take your 5/16 open end wrench. Tighten it down. You're going to hang on to it with one hand and pull out the tool. Let it slide back into the hole. After this, you need to bleed the air out of the oil side of the system. So how we're going to do that here, there's two ways on this pump. But the first way is you're going to put 3 fingers across all the diaphragms. And if you have a motor still attached, you can run the motor at a very low speed to do this. But with the motor, without a motor on here, I'm going to hold some pressure on each 3 until I get even amounts of oil coming out of each diaphragm. What this does is pushes the air out the top. Once you feel a little bit of pressure on the back of these, make sure they're sealed. Grab some paper towel. Get as much oil off of here as you can. Now we're going to put the valve body where the check valves are back on. Snug those up. And take the head. Make sure that your O-ring is in good shape. Put your 8 1/2-inch head bolts back in. Try to tighten them up in a cross pattern if you can. We'll snug them up with a ratchet. Now on this new P200 style pump, we have 3 bleed valves on top that are Phillips head. On the older red ring pumps that we have, the only difference is they use a different diaphragm and they do not have the bleed valves on top. So for this pump, you're going to open the bleed valves, Open one at a time normally. This might take a little bit of time, but you got to keep turning the shaft in here and opening up your screws until you get all the air out. There we go. And make sure you close it back down. This one has a lot of air in it. There we go. Go to the third one. There we go. Should get all the air bubbles out. Make sure all three of them are tight. And then clean up the mess you made. After completing a change of the diaphragms, we recommend running the motor for at least 20 to 25 minutes, coming back and periodically checking the bleed valves, open them up, make sure that all the air is out of the system, and then you can go back and run it. Actually running it under pressure does help, but it may take a little bit of time before all the air is out of the bleed valves.